My name is Alfred. I'm an alcoholic. Can we have a moment of silence? Dear Heavenly Father, I just thank you for letting me make this way over the bridge to come share my experience, strength, and hope. And I just ask for your guidance and your strength for you to put the words in my mouth that you would have me say tonight. Amen. So, yeah, I ain't tell him none that nobody didn't tell me. You know, wow, I'm still. Yeah, when the hand of AA asks you for something, man, you don't say no. And I haven't said no since 4/20/23. It's my sobriety date. You know, I've been to meetings. I usually don't share it, you know, in a meeting. But, you know, they always talk shit because that's the International Smoke Day. And they said you couldn't wait till the next day. And I probably wouldn't have made it till the next day. You know, I showed up, busted up, disgusted up, tore up from the floor up. I think I was still high when I got here. My mom died on Valentine's Day of 22. And I remember that day because she died that day, and that was the beginning of my last debacle. See, I came in the wheelhouse in July of 17, and I would get a few months here, get a few months there. I came here for 11 months. I think the longest I was sober while I was here was 6 months. If you can do the math, you know, don't add up. But I could put together a few months, you know, and then that's what they talk about, the insanity, right? Picking up that first drink or drug, sober as can be. Why do I do it? But the last time after my mom passed, you know, it took me a little over a year to get back. So, you know, yeah, I don't know if I was to go out, I don't know if I'd make it back or when I would come back is what I'm trying to get at. You know, I was born in Galveston, 76, August 25th. I didn't have a bad upbringing. You know, I've heard stories, people tell their stories up here, they had a lot worse than I did. You know, we barbecued on the weekend. My dad lit the barbecue pit, you know, started drinking. We did yard work, cleaned the house for the week. You know, it was normal. I remember my grandparents getting in fights, breaking plates over my uncle's head. You know, that kind of shit was just normal to me. I don't know. I get in high school, and just the powerlessness. You know, you don't even see. I didn't even see it coming. I was a freshman in high school, and you know, they were dropping acid at the time, and I remember making fun of them. Why y'all put that shit underneath your tongue? And then 2 years later, peer pressure, the powerlessness, you know, and then it just started, you know, from there. I went from there. I never do cocaine. Soon as I get out of the Navy, the first weekend I'm at home, dude says, "Hey, look what I got." And so there goes the powerlessness again. And, you know, when I was in the Navy, I was in a bad car wreck. And, you know, for a long time I lied to myself because I didn't want to look in the mirror and say that it was my fault. But we had came back. I had turned 19 that day when we pulled back in the shore, and we went out to the beach, and I got drunk, and, you know, I was in a bad wreck. I fell asleep. I don't know what I did. Passed out, whatever. Got thrown out of the vehicle. Got life flighted, free helicopter ride. Don't remember none of that shit. And you think I would think that I had a problem, but I blamed it, you know, because when you're out to sea and you're the new guy on the boat, they wake you up at all kinds of hours to do the 12 to 2 watch, 2 to 4 watch. So my excuse was that I I was tired because I had to get up for watch. They were picking on the new guy on the ship, not the fact that I was walking around the beach with a bottle of tequila going, yeah. And so, you would think that you would learn. And that was my first taste of AA. I had to go to Captain's Mass. They made me go to AA. And it was a base on shore in Pearl Harbor, Hawaii, at some apartment. And I just remember being full of smoke, and that's really all I remember. I don't know. I don't even remember if it was just old people or mixed people or nothing. I just remember it was smoky. And so I get out, and then, like I said, just the powerlessness, man. My life, I ran on self-will from the get-go. My parents divorced when I was 13. I moved in with my mom, and this is how selfish I was, and I didn't know it, man, until my brother told me. I was so selfish, I told my brother, you go live with dad, and I'll live with mom. And because I knew my mom would let me get away with murder. And I guess I didn't want nobody, to interfere with that. Not having to drag him along everywhere I went is the only thing I could think of. And I never even thought about that till he brought it to my attention. And it's funny how other people can see your flaws too, huh? So, anyways, I lost track. Anyways, yeah, so my life just being unmanageable and the selfishness and self-centeredness. I don't know, the drunk-a-log will be this. I started doing cocaine. It switched from one drug to another, to sniffing cocaine to smoking it, and then finally in it with meth. Okay, that was my big thing. I put a needle in my arm and all bets were off. And I fought that demon for a while. I remember my grandma one time, she said, you need help. And I didn't have insurance, and I remember she took me to some place in Houston. I don't even remember what it was called. And I was there for like a day or two, and I had my friend's dad come pick me up, because I was like, there's a bunch of homeless people there. I wasn't homeless. I lived with grandma. And for real, that's what I thought. And so I left that place. I don't even remember. And then I remember when I started smoking cocaine, my friend, he had got hooked on it real bad, and they never knew if it was suicide or not, but he ran his truck into somebody going down Spencer Highway in LaPorte and died. And and then I was going down that same path, and it freaked me out. It was right after my stepdad had died, and I told my mom, I want some help. And she paid $5,000 out of his some money she got from him when he died, and I went into some treatment place. I think it's Bay Area Recovery. I don't remember the name, but I think that's the one it was, over there in Dickinson. And I was there for about not even a month, and my homeboy's dad, the one that came pick me up from the other one, I tried to get him to get me a job, and he got me a job doing, a professionally job, and that was going to solve all my problems, having the right job. And I left that place, and I got the job, and yeah, I ended up getting fired, fell into UA, in and out. In July of 2017, I started my revolving door. I came up. So my wifey, my girl, we were just seeing each other at the time, I guess you could say, or whatever you want to say. And she had to go to Santa Maria in Houston for women, and she was telling me, yeah, there's this place in Deer Park called the Wheelhouse. They help men get their life back on track. And I was like, hell yeah, I need my life back on track. And so I went up there, I called for like 2 weeks, and they always say, we're full. And I told my mom, she was still alive at the time, I said, they keep telling me they're full. She said, well, get your ass on your bike and ride up there and tell them you'll sleep on the floor. And that's what I ended up doing. And this was right before Harvey. And so I went in there, and, I wanted to be sober-ish. I did. I still wanted to drink and smoke some weed, but I didn't want to shoot no meth no more. And I think that's what kept me going in and out for a few years, man, because I was holding on to the old ideas that somehow, someday, that I'll be able to enjoy and control my freaking drinking and smoking some weed. And it took a lot, man. I left there, moved in with my sponsor, relapsed, got kicked out. What's up, Nate? Crip, love you, brother. And I get kicked out of my sponsor's house because I start banging dope again. And then, I still had a car, so I still had a chance, right? And then when my car got fucking towed, and my dad was like, nope, I ain't helping you. And my stepmom just happened to be in town that weekend. And I got taken to jail. They towed my car, took me to jail for PI. And I say, will you come pick me up and take me to the Humble House, please? And she said, yeah. And that was in, 18 when I got here the first time? And I am a product of this house. Better yet, I'm a product of what AA can do to you if you work the steps. Because I was a fucking shitty person, man, for a long time. I get here, and I think I was here about a month. And the dude that was the assistant manager was leaving. He goes, I think you make a good assistant manager. And it's right before Dante took over. I was the assistant manager when he became the manager. And so I took that, and that took paramount over the recovery. Okay? So I couldn't manage both things. I couldn't manage anything. I'm still learning how to manage life today after being sober for a couple years. And I don't know if I'll ever get it down, but I have gotten a lot better. So I was here, like I said, I was here for 11 months. And I was sober about 6 of them months. And then in and out. I think I left here on good terms. So when I showed up that time, when I got here, I had a Kroger sack with a pack of socks. That's all I had in my name. And everything I owned, I was like, hell yeah, I'm doing good. And I'm a winner. No, just kidding. But when I leave here though, man, I got, just because, I wasn't even sober the whole time I was here, but I did do some work, I guess you could say. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I know I left here, man. I had this lady give me a car, donate me a car because of the work I did for her at her house. And I had that thing packed down full of shit when I left here. But you know what they say about shit, right? It flies right out the window. All that stuff was gone again within months. I tried to come back here. Dante was like, I guess. I was here for like a week and snuck out the back door. And I wasn't proud of it, And I went in and out. That was right at the beginning of COVID. And went in and out. And went to the Wheelhouse. Left there. Went to the 24-hour club. Left there. And nobody wanted nothing to do with me. And I can see why now. We have a friend that was in, I've been at the same sober house over a year now. And everybody in my house has over multiple years, except one room. We have a guy there, he's been there a good 6 months now, but before that it was a revolving door. But one of our roommates, man, he's going through it right now, that was in there, and the powerlessness, I can watch him the way other people used to watch me, and it hurts. It really hurts. And but so I leave the 24-hour club, I leave the Wheelhouse, and nobody wants me. And somebody at the Wheelhouse said, man, I know this place in Minneapolis. They go, would you be interested in going? And I was like, well, I don't want to fucking die, and I have nowhere else to go. And so they sent me up to Minneapolis, and they have pretty good recovery there if you participate in recovery. You know, I was there from June to March, and I was probably sober half the time, you know. And but you know, they do the sober bowling night. You know, they got a lot of good stuff up there, and it's cold as shit up in the wintertime, I promise you. Anyways, man, I leave there. Try, you know, my wifey. I'm trying to do right by her. Her family did an intervention on her, and she had went to Wilmington, North Carolina. So I'm like, well, I'm going there and going to Oxford House, because I'll be good if I get in Oxford House. And we get there, and she goes, are you going to Oxford? I said, well, this beach is beautiful. I'm gonna just rent this room for a week. and a week turned into like a month, something like that. And I did get into an Oxford House, but you know, I just just here, man. The problem is me. I love that mirror there. I talk about that mirror wherever I go, I promise you, because I am the problem. And it took me fucking forever to figure it out. So, you know, we did that thing. I went to Knoxville. They had a thing to help veterans. You know, it's called the Steps, and it ain't got to do with AA steps. It's just called Steps. I remember calling Rick Bounds, because when I was high one night, just to hear a voice from the home, you know, from back here in home. And he goes, it don't matter. I just remember him telling me, he goes, you need to do this 12 steps of AA is what you need to do. And, you know, I left there on good terms. I did leave there on good terms. We went back, thought it was a good idea. We're going to Kansas City. That's where our daughter's at. And that's where she's from, where the stuff is cheap there. And yeah, anyways, you know, it's funny, man. When I know when it's coming. So anyways, we get back here. She wants to go to New Hope. I want to go back to the Wheelhouse. And I know it's coming because I packed my car, and I'll sit there and I'll drive around and get high with my car packed for a week or two before the final draw finally happens, and I fucking go. And I knew it was coming, and I went to the Wheelhouse, and I was ready. I really was. I think I was really ready, and here, Nick. I think I was really ready, and then but I had not slept for a couple days. So I get kicked out for having a bad attitude after being there 2 days. And I remember going to Walmart. It was like, and the dude waited till wrap it up, which is 11 o'clock at night. And I was pissed off because it was 11 o'clock at night. How dare you throw me out in the middle of the night? And I remember going to Walmart, and I grabbed my AA book, and I threw it across the freaking parking lot and said, this shit don't fucking work. And you know what? It don't work if you don't work it. And I was not doing no kind of fucking work. You know, and then so I go on a little 2-day binge, and I'm sorry, it's funny to me, looking back, I think I'm being followed by the FBI, the SWAT, and all these people, and I'd say, all right, motherfuckers, guess what? I know where I'm going to the Humble House, and, because I ain't had no gas money, and so I come up here to try to hustle some gas money, because I was going back to Knoxville where they help veterans, you know, because they gave me a free place to stay and all that. And I thought that was the idea, you know. At least I wouldn't be homeless up there. And so I get here, and Dante was like, yeah, let's go fill your car up. I said, well, I ain't slept in a couple days. You think I could sleep here for the night? And he was like, fucking Alfred. And he said, you can sleep in the waterfront. Don't steal nothing. And I was like, I got you, dog. I promise you, I'll be here in the morning. And I stayed the night here, and I remember sitting on the couch the next day, man, looking like a deer with the, you know, when they get their eyes caught in the headlights. I was fucking lost. I was confused. I had no answers. I didn't know nothing, and I think that was the best. Nobody would have nothing to do with me. I couldn't get a handout. I'm surprised this dude was gonna put some gas in my car. I love you, Dante, and you know. I told him, man, I said, look, I had a plan, but my plans don't work. I said, I'm coming to realize that shit. I said, will you please let me stay? He was like, fuck, Alfred, you put me in a hard spot. We still had Cancer Richard here. He goes, I got a dude dying of cancer in here. Jarvis was here with a shit bag on the side of him. He goes, I got another guy with a shit bag. He goes, I'll put you in there with Shitty. I was like, fine with me. For real. And so, you know, you know what's funny, man? Out of all them running around, I got this anxiety and I got this all the time. And I'm scared, the fear, I don't want to come back because y'all are going to be like, this motherfucker can't stop. Why are you back doing here, taking up space for somebody that needs help? And that pride will get me killed. You know, I've come to find out it will get me dead as a doornail. And but that pride and that fear kept me away for so long. But as soon as I come back in these fucking doors and sit down and give up, all that shit disappears. It's fucking crazy how it works. It really is. And I felt that relief, man, when Dante said, man, you can stay in there with Jarvis. I felt that relief, you know. And why it takes so long, man, it's what does they call it? Cunning, baffling, powerful, right? And fuck me, it is. And after all them feelings, I still didn't know if I was ready. You know, that's how fucking retarded I am sometimes. You know, I've told y'all this story 100 times. I'm gonna tell it one more time. You know, I went up there because my fucking mattress, I had springs stuck in my fucking back. It was uncomfortable. And I went up to Walmart and I fucking stole a mattress. And I came and it was, you know, it was a fancy one. It wheeled and all that shit, you know. And I sat at the end of my bed and the brand said Serenity. And I fucking cried, man, in my room. And I said, are you going to keep doing the same shit? You're going to keep getting the same results. All the shit that y'all have told me for so many years, that's what I was thinking, you know? And I put that shit in my car and I took it back to Walmart. Don't get it twisted. I left the car running while I walked right in real quick. Because I ain't trying to go to jail. Fuck that. And, I mean, if need be, I would have went, honestly. I wasn't trying to. And, you know, Nate, man, was my sponsor the first time I was here. Thank you for coming, sir. And, you know, everybody know Nate. He would just pop up and start fucking reading. And where you going? I'm still reading, motherfucker. And I love you, dog. But I needed that, man. I needed it beat in my head over and over and over, you know. And so we start going through the steps, you know. What one? We admitted we were powerless over alcohol, that our lives had become manageable. Well, what is that to me? Well, once I start, I cannot stop. And I cannot stop from starting. That's the $1 million riddle, right? Well, the blue book is the $1 million answer. And, you know, I'm still learning as of today. You know, when I don't put that shit in my body, I can manage a little bit, you know what I'm saying? But when I put that in my body, I can't manage nothing. All bets are off, you know. I'll take you, like you've heard a lot of other people say, I'll take your wallet and turn around and help you look for it. You know what I'm saying? I'm just fucking retarded. Step 2, came to believe that a power greater than myself could restore me to sanity. I wish Clint was here, man. How you know you crazy if you fucking crazy, right? It took me a long time, man, to know that I had irrational thinking, that I was insane. You know, my actions, you know, stealing from my grandpa while he's on his deathbed type of actions, you know. Normal people don't do that shit. I had to have God's help in step 2, right? I have to have God's help because I cannot do it by myself. I tried over and over and over. I tried before AA. I tried while I come in AA. I tried, and I always got to, and I didn't want to do the work because I like free shit. True. I don't want to do the work. I wanted to get it for free, and it just never happened. We get to step 3, right? Made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understood him. What's that telling me? Well, Step three, I get the decision to stay in the problem or to select or to choose the help, right? To choose God's help. Uh, and when I make that decision, it's anything else that life throws at me. What is for? Made a searching and fearless moral inventory, right? You know, I did a lot of fifth steps, fourth and fifth steps, and I never held nothing back. I told them all my shit from the get go. I didn't ever want to hide nothing. But the thing is, I would tell all my shit, but then I would keep doing the dirty shit. You know what I'm saying? And not get rid of that shit. And so it was just starting to pile back up on me as I get rid of this other shit. And I never saw that before. What is it? Admitted to God. That's what I said. I admitted to that. What is 6? We're entirely ready to have God remove all these defects of character. I mean, that was hard. Like I said, my parents divorced, man, when I was 13, and I stayed with my mom, and she worked 2 jobs. I had to cook, I had to clean, I had to take care of Alfred, or Alfred didn't get taken care of. So those carried on to my drinking and drugging, usage, the lying, the stealing, and all that. It was hard to let go because I don't know how to live sober. So it took me a long time to understand that I have to let go of all that shit and trust in this God that I chose to follow in step 2, right? And that's been a process, because that's one of my biggest fears of the unknown, right? I hate not knowing something. I want to know what's gonna happen. I want to know the outcome. What is it? 7 is humbly ask him to remove our shortcomings. I could ask him all day. I can ask him to quit making me be a liar. I can ask him to quit making me be a thief. But then I stop doing that shit. All it is words. And I love saying this, a pair of lips to say anything. Because I've been a pair of lips to tell you some bullshit and buy it myself. What is it? Step 9, made direct amends. So, I made 8, right? Yeah, I made a list of all people we harmed. Most of that comes from your 4th and 5th step. I think I had a couple people on there that weren't on there that didn't have resentment toward that. I just, So I remember my stepmom came down, I don't know, the first summer when I was sober, and she called me to go to the zoo. And I was like, that made me feel good, they ain't called me to do shit in a long time. And I told Nate, I say, man, do I need to tell her I'm sorry, right? And he was like, your actions speak louder than your words. And, and then I was like, yeah, but it says make direct amends. And he said, if you want to open your mouth and tell her something, tell her. And I remember sitting in the parking lot at the zoo, and I said, Shannon, I didn't even have to say shit. She said, I'm proud of you. She goes, just keep doing what you're doing. She goes, all we want is for you to have a good life. And, I've came to have found with a lot of my amends. The amends that hurt the most is for, like, my grandma, my grandpa that ain't here no more, but I know they looking down smiling. And another one, I got 2 daughters. I did get to see one, at the beginning of July for a couple hours for 2 days in a row. It was fucking awesome, And I get in my head sometimes because I got to pay child support on time, or, the state fucking will get you. And but I don't get to see her, talk to him, and it hurts. It really does, But I know, but I'm coming. This faith in this God is an ongoing building thing for me, and I know that God, when it's my time, that He'll put me in the right position. 10, continue to take personal inventory, and when we're wrong, promptly admitted it. I've did a couple jacked up things since I've been sober. Ran into my boss's trailer, had to let him know. You know, especially with the girl. That's the biggest ones I hate to apologize for, but I do today. I swallow my pride and I say I'm sorry. I don't go get drunk and try to, you know, fraternize behind her back these days. Sought through prayer and meditation. You know, I have to ask God every morning to keep me sober. I ask him, when I wake up, I ask him to enter my heart to help me be a better man in his eyes. And, you know, what can I do to better him today, better me for him today? You know, and then, you know, having had a spiritual awakening, and I suppose I have because my life is totally different. I try to carry this message to other alcoholics and practice these principles in all my affairs. I do practice these principles, man. Like Kif was saying, man, sometimes I'll be like, God damn, I wish people would stop calling. And but that's a good thing, right? At least I got calls, you know. I got people that call and want something from me today besides, you know, the dumb shit. You know, I came here, man, and I didn't have shit. Over the last 2 years, what it's like now is beautiful. It's beautiful, man. I stay in so when I left here, I got, you know, I hustled, found work to pay my rent. Mr. Milton gave me some work while I was here. I love you, brother. We caught a bunch of fish. We fix to do it again next month, baby. You know, I just keep showing up, man, first of all. You know, I don't keep showing up. I ain't left, man. I just, you know, I saw Miss Fran at the state convention. I seen Robert at couple of them now. That's my dog, man, for real. I love you, brother. For real, you know, I show up at these places, man, because I don't want to go back to that old life. And if I separate myself from you people, that I will be back in that old lifestyle. You know, I can't tell you when, I can't tell you how, but he's coming, right? Hey, man, and you know, and I don't say nothing that I ain't heard in here. I don't tell nobody nothing that, you know, that I just make some off the wall fly shit. When I share from the heart, and I share what I've heard from other people that have gone on before me. You know, I left here. I was here for 9 months, and so my big plans. See, I don't like my plans; they suck. My big plans was I was gonna go back because me and Kelsey were at her dad's house, and I was like, well, let's just go back there. We'll save some money. Blah blah blah. And I leave here. I get the good job, and I still got that job today from when I left here. I'm so thankful for that guy. I left here. I moved into her dad's house. She moved in like a month later because she made a commitment to stay where she was at. And then I was going to, they have this Redemption Sober House over there in LaPorte. They got a men's meeting on Wednesdays. I was going to that. And I was going to another one in LaPorte group. I want to call that my home group. And that's all I was doing. I was just going to say I was going to meetings. I wasn't participating in my recovery. And the idea, we were not getting along because we were up each other's ass. And a comment was made about getting high. And that's how we used to bounce shit off each other in the past. Somebody would throw the fishing lure out and the other one would snatch it. And I knew if I stayed in that spot where I was at, I was fixing to grab that lure. And it broke my heart. And I said, I'm not happy. And we were at her dad's house. She said, you got the weekend, get your shit, get the fuck out. But that was the best thing that could have happened, man. And I called Brett. You remember, huh? I called Brett to get his advice. I think I tried to call Nate. He didn't answer. And Brett was like, I didn't want to hear what Nate had to say, maybe. I don't know. We're supposed to be honest, right? And, and I remember Brett telling me, man, think about what you're going to do before you do it and make sure you have a plan. And what did I do? The total opposite. I went and told her how I felt with no backup plan, and I had to get out. But I did do what I was taught to do. I went straight to the wheelhouse, and one of my roommates, he was up there. I had talked to him a couple times, and he said, how's your day going? And I was fixing to blow it off because I wanted to go drink a beer is what I wanted. And blah, blah, I just threw up all on him. And he say, I stay in a sober house. I said, for real? He said, yeah. I said, you got room? Because I had already called like 5 or 6, and everybody was full. They always got room, but the day I get kicked out of her daddy's house, they all full. You know, that's my luck. And he said, yeah, man, we got an opening. He goes, let me go talk to the guys. You give me a call, you know, because I went up there for the meeting. And he goes, you give me a call after the meeting. And I said, what y'all got, like 2 guys to a room? He goes, no, we all got our own room. I was like, hell yeah. And, you know, that was God doing for Alfred what Alfred could not do for himself. I'm still in that house. Not only are we housemates, we have became family. We all participate in activities together. I think, when was I supposed to tell my story? Like in March or May, something like that. Well, I couldn't make it because my whole house went skydiving. You know what I'm saying? I get to go enjoy life today. You know, we got the men's retreat next month up at Robert's place. I went when I was in the house. Kick-ass time. If you don't believe me, go look at all them fish me and Milton caught. We got pictures. And we're going again and gonna slay them again. I'm excited. And, you know, man, you know, I think some of y'all made a comment today, man. I drive over to Kemah Bridge every day to go to work. And that sunrise this morning, it took my breath away. I took a picture of it, and I put, I don't deserve this, because I don't. You know, I don't. You know, oh yeah, you've been doing the work, I have been doing the work, but if I got what I deserve, man, I've OD'd twice, I wouldn't be here. Sorry, I still get emotional, man. I'm a little crybaby. And, but you know, these are happy tears today, you know, it ain't them hopeless tears being lost, you know. I found a power greater than myself by which I could live, and it's fucking amazing. You know, I was in a meeting last night, or they had the bike rally at the Wheelhouse. By the way, I got raffle tickets for the Wheelhouse. Y'all hit me up after the meeting. Yeah, I'm gonna throw my plug in. And I went to their meeting last night, and then we were sitting in the meeting afterwards, like the last 30 minutes. And somebody shared, I was sitting next to that dude David that, you know, told me about our house, and he say the dude that was sharing was like, it's not easy. And I would have to disagree. The way I was living my life before I got here this time was fucking hard. I woke up, I drove around parking lots looking for receipts to steal something to take back to Walmart, to Home Depot, to wherever, you know. That was so hard to do. It was, what do they call it? Demoralization, that type shit that I was doing. And doing this, man, is easy. It's fucking easy. And why it took so long for it to finally, you know, take a hold, I don't care. I don't question it no more. You only get one ticket and enjoy the ride, right? And that's what I'm trying to do to the best of my ability. You know, I started the job I got while I was in this house, and I still have it. My pay has more than doubled since I've been there. In the last 3 weeks, I've made $1,100 in bonuses, and you know, life is good. I was able to go to the VA and file my claim because I lost hearing through the VA, and you know, they rated me at 40% disability, and I still have stuff on the table I'm waiting for, and you know, that's for the real reason why I got the truck, because the VA pays for it. But you know, and it is God's truck. You know, I was bitching about something one time, about a month ago, and the guys in my house are awesome. So this is the way it goes. There was this dude, he was bitching, God, I hate my life. I want a new life. And God say, you in the store, I got something for you. He goes, I got you a new life. How much money you got? Dude said, $20. God said, you're in luck. All you need is $20 for a new life. He was like, but God, how am I supposed to put gas in my car to get to work? God say, oh, you got a car? All it's gonna cost you is $20 in your car. Dude say, how am I gonna get to work and provide for my family? God say, oh, you got a job? Oh, all that's going to cost you is your job. I mean, the $20, your car, and your job. He said, God, if I don't have a job, how am I going to provide for my family? God say, oh, you got a family? He say, all your new life going to cost you is $20, your car, your job, and your family. He say, I see where this is going. So he shuts up. God tells him, look. He goes, I'll give you this. He goes, I'll give you this $20 back, but you spend it as if it's God's $20. He goes, I'll give you this car back, but you drive it where you think God would have you go. I'll give you this job back, but you perform your job like you're performing it for God's work. He said, I'll give your family back. It ain't your family, it's my family. You treat them as if it's God's family. And that's how I try to look at life today. You know what I'm saying? Because I was a taker my whole life. All I did was take. I was that tornado, and I try to give back the best I can today. I try to do God's work in everything I do today. I know I'm a little short, but I love y'all. Go Cowboys.